Hello and welcome to my channel GreenLion Goddess Tarot. This is your daily reading for the 13th of June. I'm running a little bit late with them today. I'm doing it on the day of today, not the day before. I actually just ran out of daylight yesterday. So let's see, Two of Cups, the Seven of Wands, the Two of Swords, a lot of relationship stuff coming in. We're moving into volatile territory over the weekend, over the next 3 or 4 days, with Mars forming a square with Uranus. This is things like protests, rebellion, conflict. It can be violent accidents. It sounds fun and cheery, doesn't it? So just watch out for that energy. Let's see what else is coming through. I feel like I want this. Okay, so a lot going on inside your mind here in terms of just perhaps thinking about what you really want, what you really wanting here, especially from a relationship, and whether you are in a relationship or not. And this could be any kind of relationship. It could be a work friend, it could be a best friend, it could be a sibling, it could be a family member, it could be a neighbor, but there's some kind of relationship here where it almost feels like you sort of got your defenses up here with it. It feels almost like I need to put up some boundaries or defend myself in some way. So there's a little bit of uncertainty about how to talk to someone or approach someone or broach a subject or have that conversation. And I think it's really important, if you're feeling really uncertain about how to approach somebody, or also getting very clear about the foundations of this relationship and what you really want from this situation. What is the most important thing? Because it does feel like there's something that needs to be talked about, and there's a little bit of uncertainty about how to steer that in the right direction, or how to steer that person in the right direction, or the right direction, the right approach. A little bit of uncertainty about that. And it's kind of just saying with the 2 fours, it's like these 2 pillars of calmness and foundation here. This might be a little bit of advice from the tarot and guidance from the tarot as to how to deal with some of this very volatile energy that we're potentially going to see, which is the Mars square Uranus, because it is a very volatile transit in terms of personal relationships. And what I like is these 2 fours on the ends. They're like pillars of calm and stability. So it really is, have a think about what it is that you really want from a situation, because it's a little bit like pick your battles is what I feel like. It's like somebody has the potential to be quite wounded or hurt here, but it really feels like just be careful with the way that you're receiving information or you're giving information, that it's not wounding or hurting somebody, because that 4 of Swords wants to lay those 3 swords that represents the wound and lay something to rest. So it's like a much more calm, balanced approach, and really saying, okay, is this the issue that maybe something's arisen? Maybe it's an issue of, I think it's actually, interestingly, like you are intuitively working through this. Even though it's the Queen of Swords and the 2 of Swords, I'm getting really there's messages from spirits. Trust your intuition as to how you're finding the clarity here, the best way to approach this, the best way to speak, communicate, write, message, whatever it is that you want to be doing here. Really trust your intuition with this and get clear about it, because just say an issue has arisen and it's like, I don't quite know how to approach this. It's about looking at, I think, the outcome that the most peaceful outcome that you're looking for, rather than fixating on the heat of the issue. That's what I'm feeling here, or the things of feeling uncertain or somebody's feeling quite defensive. You might be reassessing the way that you're doing something or approaching somebody today, which could be really helpful to bring some kind of calm. And so it may be, okay, that person's really pissing me off with what they're doing, and, there's something around their behavior that they need to modify. And we could have a conversation about that. I don't like it that you're doing this, or you're really kind of stirring the pot a little bit with this, or you're kind of agitating me a little bit, or whatever it is. There could be something coming in. But instead of it's like, okay, what do you want as an outcome from the situation? Because don't want to sever that relationship in some way. What sort of outcome are you looking for? It's sort of saying, think of where the calm place, the calm outcome, the thing that you're really wanting here, and think about that, how you're shifting that story here so you can bring some kind of balance and harmony into the relationship and calm, some kind of beautiful, stable ground you can reach, and then work back from there and go, okay, well, I don't want to cause a big fight here. I don't want to cause maybe I don't want this person to get upset with me. Maybe I don't want this. Maybe I don't want that. What I want is for this to be resolved really nicely so that we are still in a good place. So if you come from that angle, which these two fours are saying that is sort of the stability that we're looking at, then it's like work backwards. Okay, so what's the best approach if I don't really want to inflame this any further? Maybe what is the best approach here? And so it's saying have a think about it. It's a very, very careful and measured approach, but there's a lot of element of air here, and it is about perhaps also guiding and steering somebody towards the right mental foundations as well, like, how they're thinking or perceiving a situation. Or, and it could be like, well, maybe you could sort of pivot and shift and do something slightly differently, or see it in a slightly different way. So I feel like there's this kind of gentle steering of the story and understanding and kind of working, being quite diplomatic and careful about your approach, how you're approaching this person. And maybe they're getting all fired up and defensive in a way, but it might be a sense of, okay, what's the best way to approach them so it doesn't make it worse or doesn't make them more defensive, so that they're open to us, because it feels like there needs to be this stability reattained here. And maybe, we can sometimes be our own worst enemy. Perhaps you're seeing that someone in your life is actually making a situation worse for them, and that could even start escalating. And all they need to do is sort of shift the story of what's going on inside their head. And so it may be a sense of you can be the guiding ship. So it feels like this beautiful energy of getting really clear about what the foundations are, the mental foundations, and what you really want from this. And just to be able to gently steer and guide this, whether it's approaching somebody, helping them shift their perspective, or even it's something to do with you as well, like you shifting your perspective or being open to a conversation and going, okay, maybe I don't want to react. I don't want to escalate this. Maybe I don't want to get really defensive. Maybe I need to go away and think about it, because that's what the Four of Swords is. Maybe I just need to get really clear and calm before I respond, before I make a choice, before I work out what direction I'm going in, what decision is coming in here. So it's asking for calm in this situation where we know there's a very volatile transit coming up over the weekend. So that is the reading for the 13th of June. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Love to read your comments, and take care.